National record. 7 victories, only 2 losses, 5 by knockout. The Blade is back, ladies and gentlemen. Iran, the Blade Barkley. And introducing in the blue corner, wearing the black trunks with white trim, he weighs 160 pounds even, originally from Santurce, Puerto Rico, now fighting out of New York City, undefeated in 15 bouts, 14 victories, 1 draw. Ladies and gentlemen, Esteban Pizzarro.
Like the way Michael rolls his R's. Larry Hazard calls the fighters to the center of the ring.
You're both familiar with the rules of the New Jersey State Athletic Commission. I'm here to enforce those rules and to remind you that you are to conduct yourselves in the spirit of good sportsmanship at all times. Also, I will not hesitate to take points away from you if you fail to abide by the rules. Okay, let's have a nice, clean fight. Okay, you have any questions?
A little translation first. We are set to go, scheduled for 8. Iran Barkley, 24 years old, from the Bronx, New York. 7-2 is his record. Across the way, 20-year-old Esteban Pizzarro in the black trunks, 14-0-1 with 4 knockouts. Barkley has not fought since that Robbie Sims fight. Took some time off. Did a lot of work on his defense, he says. And we will see whether it has panned out for him.
For those of you who did not see the Robbie Sims fight and have not seen Iran Barkley before, he's always been an action fighter. There's a good left hook from him, a big weapon of his. But in the process, he tends to take too much punishment. And that, as Sam said, that's what he's been working on in the gym, trying to correct and improve upon that defense.
That and stamina, because in that Sims fight, he had Sims hurt. He really punched himself out in the 5th round, and Sims was able to stop him in the 6th. And when they stopped it, I had Barkley ahead 3 rounds to 2 in that fight.
He had hurt Sims early, and the big punch to look for from Barkley is the left hook. He's tried it 3 or 4 times in this fight. Also of interest, I think, will be if he gets Pizzarro hurt, will he get wild? Will he burn himself out, as you said he did against Sims, or will he be disciplined?
Pizzarro is a boxer. You're not going to see big punches from him. So he did knock down Bumblebee Bunch, Henry Bunch, in his last fight, twice in the 1st round.
Stung him, we could say.
You would say that. Midway through the 1st round now. Pizzarro's a good boxer. His only blemish on the perfect record is a 10-round draw against Russell Kane last October at Madison Square Garden Spelt Forum. In that fight, 1 judge scored it a draw, 1 judge scored it 5-3-2 for Pizzarro, another judge scored it 6-3-1 for Kane. I thought Pizzarro won the fight. Good left by Iran Barkley, and he is showing a little head movement in there, slipping a little bit.
You can tell that Barkley came out intent on boxing. This is much different than any of the 1st rounds I've ever seen Barkley in. He usually comes out very aggressive.
20-foot ring on the inside. Pretty big, and you see Pizzarro using a lot of it when he's on the move.
You know, we should point out, too, that not having fought since January 6th, some ring rust for Iran Barkley, and it may take him just a little bit, no matter how much work he's done in the gym, to get his bearings in there.
Pizzarro landed a good right. Barkley answered with his left. You'll see a lot of that in this fight. We are under 20 seconds to go in this 1st round, scheduled for 8. Work with the left hand by Esteban Pizzarro. Comes to the end of round 1 of our opening bout on Top Rank Boxing. Iran Barkley out to meet Esteban Pizzarro, round 2. Pizzarro from Santurce, Puerto Rico, now living in Manhattan. Last fight, a 6-round decision victory over Henry Bumblebee Bunch.
Good straight right hand there by Pizzarro, but he's hurt now. Iran Barkley came back, and that's what happens when you hurt Iran Barkley. He will come back and whack you, and that's what he did.
He is always willing to mix it up, and now he's chasing Pizzarro.
And he took a right for his trouble. You know, they told him in between the first and second round, they told Barkley, you're keeping your left hand too low, and he is indeed, and that's often been one of his problems.
The right got in frequently in that first round. A good left hook again by Barkley. That's his big weapon. Pizzarro's taking some punishment here from that left. And now Barkley getting back into a mix-it-up fight, which he really didn't want. Nice combination there by Pizzarro.
You start to wonder, though, whether Iran Barkley was meant to be a boxer. He's effective when he's doing this. Now, maybe he won't be effective against the really good fighters, but this is what he seems to do best.
Barkley had a good amateur career, won a gold medal at the Empire State Games in 1981. Takes a left hook there. Slowed in his pro career. He did a lot of work training with Davey Moore. Got tagged with a right hand by Pizzarro that time.
Punch your way out. Punch your way out.
He helped Moore get ready for that Duran fight, and it was interesting when you asked him today, did he regret doing it? And he said no, because he felt it was a good experience and he was helping a friend.
Now he says it's Iran time. Trying to get his career in order. He's 24 years old.
You know, Sam, the other guy to beat Barkley, Asli Silas, had a style very similar and a stature very similar to Pizzarro. He was a tall counterpuncher, and he did some of the same things Pizzarro is doing to Iran Barkley right now.
Pizzarro, tall middleweight, stands 6'2".
Punch on it.
Moves pretty well in the ring. Barkley's kind of slowed down his attack now. Suddenly this fight has gotten quiet after the second round started off with a lot of action.
I think they were very hopeful that Barkley could get his jab in against Pizzarro, and it's never worked so far in these first two rounds. He's not gotten his jab in effectively, and as I said, they pinned a lot of hopes on that coming into this fight.
We're late in the second round as Barkley tries to corner Pizzarro. Pizzarro does a good job of tying him up. We head for the bell, ending round two.
Round two, this is what Iran Barkley walked into against Pizzarro when he tried to pressure him. So counterpunching by Pizzarro has been effective.
Round three in the red trunks, Iran Barkley, and the black trunks, Esteban Pizzarro.
You know, Sam, Iran Barkley looks frustrated, and he looks confused. I think he's trying to fight a certain way, but it's not working. He's trying to be a master boxer, and it's not working. And I think
it's not natural for him.
It isn't natural. There's a punch
Low
that
blow.
strays very low.
Barkley steps back.
I think that was accidental.
Touch of the gloves by the two fighters. Larry Hazard with just a slight caution to Pizzarro.
And they told him in his corner that Barkley, they told him you're loading up, you're waiting for one shot. In some respects, he seems to be doing that.
Pizzarro, good counterpuncher, working well off the ropes.
He is indeed, and Barkley's big weapon, the left hook, has been nullified because Pizzarro has been getting under that punch. The uppercut is what Barkley is going to have to use.
Good left hook. That's the big one for Barkley. That's what he hopes to slow down Pizzarro with.
Good move by Pizzarro. You saw him move away from the left hook and then just miss with the counter right. He's a crafty fighter.
Former Puerto Rican amateur champion. Fought in the World Cup games. Won a silver medal. We're past the midway point of round three. Esteban Pizzarro, undefeated, 14-0-1.
And I'll tell you, he didn't get those wins with mirrors. He is a very clever boxer in there. He's not the kind of guy, as you said, who will knock you out, but he is doing boxing well against Barkley.
Only 4 knockouts in his 15 fights for Pizzarro, but you can see him slipping the punches and turning things around on Barkley.
Even when Barkley puts punches together, as he did a moment ago, which hasn't been often in this fight.
He used the elbows to control Barkley. Pizzarro's a smart fighter in there. He's only 20 years old.
And one thing Barkley's not doing at all, they urge him to do, is go to the body. There he tries a left hook to the body. He's not hitting Pizzarro on the head, so it makes sense to try and go downstairs.
Oh, good left hook by Pizzarro. Rocked the head back of Iran Barkley. Barkley's a tough man. He can take a lot of punches. You can almost see Barkley trying very hard to pace himself in this fight.
He's being very economical with his punches, but in the process, not scoring off.
And right now, it looks like Pizzarro building up the early lead as we come to the end of round 3.
The counter-punching of Pizzarro really hurt Iran Barkley, and we're into round 4, and time may be getting a little late for Barkley, even though we still have 5 rounds left to go in this fight.
We'll check Al's scoreboard, see what he thinks.
Some may be surprised to see this, but I think Pizzarro won all 3 rounds. Not every one by a big margin, but I feel like he outboxed Barkley.
I will second that motion. So Barkley did start off here with a good left hook. He's had his moments with that left, but Pizzarro has usually been able to tie him up to stop any sustained attacks, slip punches the way he did there, and counter nicely. I'm impressed with Pizzarro's work thus far.
He's been a very good boxer. He has been clever. He slipped punches. In the last round, though, he started to let himself get caught on the ropes, and he's doing it again in this round. And that could be a dangerous thing against Barkley.
Larry Hazzard is the referee.
Barkley's starting to get under those punches by Pizzarro. He's bending at the waist more, and now this is a good strategy, Barkley, to get inside and bang away with the left hook to the body and the head. It's different than what he planned to do tonight, but it could work for him.
But even in that last exchange, it was Pizzarro coming off the ropes and doing the better work, working his way off the ropes. And now look at him throw Barkley back and work him over. This is great work by Pizzarro. Now Barkley fights back.
There was the left hook by Barkley. I was just about to say that if he keeps getting the range with that left hook, one of them will hurt Pizzarro, and sure enough, it did.
Pizzarro trying to tie Barkley up because he was hurt by that left hook. He's still trying to shake off the effects of it and slow Barkley down.
And here's where Barkley must discipline himself, not throw so many punches that he gets winded and he can't knock Pizzarro out. He's got to make his punches count.
But he's going for it.
I'm not sure he is doing what he said he would do when he got the guy hurt.
Coming down to a minute to go in the 4th round, and again, Pizzarro seemingly has recovered. 1 minute to go, round 4. Now Pizzarro seems to have himself back together after being stung by that big left hook.
You know, Iran Barkley worked and worked in the gym, but he looks rusty. This is not the same Iran Barkley that we've seen before. We talk about some of the blemishes that he had, but he also has lots of skills. Some of those skills are not on display tonight. He's not putting his punches together as well as we've seen in the past, and he's lunging a lot with his punches. I think he's getting hit as often as he did before.
We've said it so many times, you can work in the gym. It's just not the same thing as getting in against an opponent who's out there to really stop you. In the gym, you've got sparring partners. And out here in the ring, it's the real thing. Nice combination by Pizzarro. Final seconds of the 4th round. We're in Atlantic City and hope you're enjoying Top Rank Boxing.
Barkley's best round of the fight in the last round, and that left hook, one of the reasons he's starting to get that punch untracked.
Barkley, the stalker now, goes in. Pizzarro ties him up. This is round 5, scheduled for 8. This is middleweight night on Top Rank Boxing. Coming up, middleweights, Tony Suero and Nestor Flores. Flores ranked number 10 in the world by the WBA. And that's followed by Barry Audia and Giovanni Babenzi. Suero off the ropes. Barkley looking for the big punch. Nice right hand by Iran Barkley. And again, Pizzarro not moving.
In a fight like this, you really have to give Barkley the edge. Even though Pizzarro's landing good shots, Barkley is probably the better puncher. And he's shown that he can hurt Pizzarro a little bit more readily. But right now, good luck by Pizzarro.
What a left. But Barkley keeps coming, and he is going to slug it out. He has abandoned the boxing, and he is going for the slugging.
Well, and this is the kind of fight I guess he needs to make to wage against Pizzarro to win. It can't be a boxing match with Pizzarro.
Again the left hook. Again Barkley with a left hook. Pizzarro still standing there. He takes some punches. And here again in the 5th round, much like the Sims fight, Barkley's going all out for the knockout and could conceivably punch himself out.
And he's taking some counter shots by Pizzarro. Good left hook by Barkley.
Again, midway through the 5th round. Barkley all over Pizzarro.
I think what Iran Barkley needs to do is double up, throw the left hook to the body, and then immediately bring it to the head. He's landing that left hook downstairs.
I think Barkley is getting a little bit tired. Here comes Pizzarro back.
Pizzarro does not want to be fighting off the ropes, though, Sam. He's counterpunching fairly well, but the pressure of Barkley could be getting to him a little bit, even though Pizzarro's still landing.
Pizzarro not moving. He has been slowed down by the big punches of Iran Barkley with less than a minute to go in round 5.
And there's the uppercut from Barkley. That's an important punch for him to use when Pizzarro's on the ropes. It's the one that'll get through.
Barkley is tired a little bit, but Pizzarro has not been able to take advantage of it. Blood coming from the mouth of Iran Barkley. Half a minute to go, round 5.
Not as crisp an effort from Barkley as we've seen in the past. He's landed some shots, but they're awkward, and he's not putting his punches together that well. But in this round, he has landed some big shots to the head of Pizzarro.
Barkley did things better in the 4th. I think he's doing a good job of taking this round here, and he might be right back in the thick of things after Pizzarro got the early lead. They keep pounding as we come to the bell, ending round 5. Up in this 8-round middleweight bout, Iran Barkley in the red trunks from the Bronx, New York. Esteban Pizzarro in the black trunks from Santurce, Puerto Rico, now living in Manhattan. And Barkley has picked things up in the last 2 rounds and scores with a left hook. Al, what's your scoreboard look like?
Indeed, I've given Barkley the last 2 rounds, and I've got Pizzarro ahead 3-2. And looking at your scorecard, you did something that you do about once every millennium, and that is you score the 4th round even.
That was a tough round for me to score because Barkley scored some good left hooks, but Pizzarro, I thought, outboxed him in a round. So the cop-out, the even round, I hate to do it.
Every once in a while, there is such a thing as an even round.
But Barkley has looked better the last 2, there's no doubt. And Pizzarro is not doing what he was doing early in the fight. Not moving and not countering.
He's languishing on the ropes, and he's giving Barkley a chance to go to the body and the head and maul him and brawl him. Which isn't to say that Pizzarro isn't counterpunching off those ropes. He's doing that fairly effectively. In the center of the ring, though, Pizzarro has pretty much owned this fight.
Neither man doing much with their jabs. Just flicking them out.
Now Barkley's starting to get there with his jab a little bit, though. He could not land that punch at all early in this fight, and I think that's what disrupted his plan to box.
There's Pizzarro on the move again, circling. He needs to do that. We're midway through the 6th round.
You know, Barkley had a strategy a couple of rounds ago. He started bobbing and weaving, getting very low, and then coming with the left hook to the body, and then moving it up to the head. That's what started his comeback, and I think if he would get back into that posture, it would help him in this fight. But again, that wasn't what he came in here to do, but I think at this point he might want to adapt and go with what's worked for him.
Less than a minute to go in the 6th round. Pretty quiet round at this point. Fought it at long range. Now Barkley moves inside, and Pizzarro ties him up effectively. Larry Hazard tries him loose.
Pizzarro has been very quiet in this round. He is really pacing himself, and this is not the round to be quiet in. I'll tell you, Barkley's been mounting a comeback, and I would think Pizzarro would want to take one of these rounds back.
20 seconds to go in the 6th round. And Pizzarro's fight is definitely slowed down considerably. Coming to the end of round 6. Barkley in the red trunks, Esteban Pizzarro in the black trunks. This is round 7, scheduled for 8. There have been no knockdowns. And somewhere in the 4th round, this fight began to turn around. You'll see what I mean. Check Al's scoreboard out.
The plot, as they say, has certainly thickened. It is 3-3 in my estimation. I gave the first 3 rounds to Pizzarro, the last 3 to Barkley, and on my unofficial scorecard, I've got it even.
I still have Pizzarro slightly ahead, but definitely Barkley is the man coming on. Pizzarro fighting a totally defensive fight, on the move and really not doing anything offensively in the last couple of rounds.
And it's not just that he's trying to box Barkley and move. He's not counterpunching as he was earlier in the fight, so he's not doing anything offensively. Barkley hasn't been able to mount that good an attack, at least he didn't in the last round. In this round, he's pecking away with the jab, but it's enough to win these rounds, perhaps.
Absolutely. And he is making Pizzarro miss. And it's slipping done by Barkley.
That's good news to his cornerman.
Barkley trains at the Ringside Gym, 8th Avenue and 40th Street in Manhattan. Trained by Bobby Miles.
He's been sparring with Doug DeWitt, the ESPN middleweight champion, along with Mickey Goodwin, a fighter from Detroit that we featured several years ago here on our boxing show.
Good exchange, and that left hook, yes. That's a wobbly Esteban Pizzarro that was holding on. Again, that big left. Pizzarro on the run, takes another left. Barkley going for it again.
And Barkley goes to the body there in that sequence. A good idea. Has to be careful, though, because Pizzarro can still counterpunch off those ropes.
Pizzarro has gone into a defensive shell, and it has cost him with less than a minute to go in the 7th round.
Give Pizzarro credit. He's been hurt 3 or 4 times by left hooks, and each time he has managed to compose himself, get his act together, and withstand the fury of Iran Barkley.
Barkley again doubles up nicely with the left hand, scoring with that left hook.
And that's what I said earlier. If he goes to the body with that left hook, then upstairs it'll work.
And as opposed to the Sims fight, Barkley has not punched himself out. He's got something left. We are late in the 7th round. Half a minute to go. And a right hand scores big. Barkley scoring big in the 7th round. Pizzarro holding on. And Barkley has really come on in this fight. After the fast start by Pizzarro.
Pizzarro punching back here toward the end of this round, but I doubt very much it'll be enough to get this round back for him.
Final seconds of the 7th round. There have been no knockdowns, but much like other Iran Barkley fights we have seen, it is an action fight. Pizzarro is a little upset that Barkley took one more swing at him at the bell and goes back into his corner. There is Iran Barkley. Let's listen in to his corner.
Okay, you need it. You got him. Yeah, he's all right. He's all right. Wipe his face, Connie. Wipe his face.
Bobby Miles doing the
This
talking.
is the last round, my man. Get your hands up. Work that jab on him. Shake and bait. Hit him in the body. Hit him in the head. Okay, you can push yourself for this round, right? You got to take deep breaths. Deep breaths, my man. All right, you got this, man. You got to stay alert. Okay. I don't need to knock. I need this work. Okay, then get it. Get it. When he starts throwing that jab, put a little grease on his lips, Connie. Grease on his lips. There you go. How you feel? Deep breath. Deep breath. Good here, man. Get off. Give it a deep breath. Take a deep one.
Seconds out.
This left hand from Iran Barkley to the temple of Pizzarro hurt him. You can see the look of pain on his face, and turned that round completely around for that man Barkley.
And this is it, 8th and final round. And Barkley has turned this fight around from the 4th. It is anyone's fight at this point. It is up for grabs. Al will show you who he thinks is ahead.
Scott Barkley had 4-3, gave him the last round, and as I said, I've given him now the last 4 rounds, and so he has mounted quite a comeback in my estimation.
I've got it dead even at 3-3-1.
It's very close no matter how you look at it.
And Barkley again continues to be the aggressor with an excellent right hand. He charges right in after he noticed that he had hurt Pizzarro. I don't think he knew it at first. Pizzarro answering back, but he's wobbly. The legs are wobbly on Esteban Pizzarro. What a turnaround by Iran Barkley in this fight. He has really paced himself well. That was part of his plan.
I thought after the first 2 rounds he looked confused, frustrated, and didn't know what he was about in the ring, but around at the 4th is when he landed one good left hook, and that got his engine running, and he's been tough ever since. As
my good friend John Condon would say, Esteban Pizzarro is fighting a survivor's fight.
At this point, it looks that way. But since the scoring's so close, he could still turn it around with a good round here. Does John Condon really say that?
He does. Midway through the 8th round. Good combination by Pizzarro. Lost his aggressiveness somewhere in the 4th round. I think maybe some of those left hooks took it out of him.
He really did, and that is an apt phrase. He is fighting like a survivor in this fight. It's much different than those early rounds.
And it's getting late. And Barkley has a look of confidence on him as he stalks Pizzarro. With less than a minute to go in the 8th round. Pizzarro, an unbeaten record on the line. 14 wins, 1 draw in 15 professional fights. Record of 7-2. He's been fighting a little less than 2 years as a pro. Now starting to get his pro career in order.
In the last round, Barkley jabbed to the body and then brought the left up to the head. Earlier, he had been using the left hook to the body and then the head. That's so effective for him. It works every single time he tries that ploy.
Less than half a minute to go in the 8th round. Pizzarro had landed a good combination in there, but Barkley continues to stalk. Pizzarro trying to tie Barkley up. Good work with the left hand by Barkley. There will be no knockout in this fight. Final seconds of this 8-round middleweight bout. And this one will go to the 3 judges at ringside. Tough battle. Well matched, well fought. And the judges will decide. They'll add up the scorecards, and we will be back in Atlantic City to bring you the decision in just a moment. Barkley on the left, Esteban Pizzarro on the right, awaiting the judge's decision. What did you think, Al?
I gave the last 5 rounds to Barkley, and I have him winning the fight 5-3.
I've got him winning also. 4-3-1 on my count. Barkley looks happy. Pizzarro, I'm not sure.
Depends on how many of those early rounds went for Pizzarro and at what point the judges feel the turnaround came.
Resplendent in lavender cummerbund and bow tie, Mr. Michael Buffer has the decision for us.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a winner by unanimous decision. Iran the Blade Barkley.
There it is. Iran Barkley has pulled out the unanimous decision. A slow start, but give him credit. He stuck to